Welcome to the Patriots Lab, where we ain't even trying to, we make them liberals mad. Cause freedom of speech is what us individuals have. It's the gift when we gab, talking about things that the brainwash cannot mentally grasp, like staying loud and waving our American flags. This is for the free thinkers, wearing their MAGA and wearing the cags. Draining the swamp is the ultimate goal, but the sheeple will swear it's a fad, like it's just a phrase. But when we show them the facts, the fools got nothing to say, and deep government state wanna get up in our face, but hasn't done it yet cause Trump's in the way, trying to protect us from a troublesome fate. And because of that, we'll never lose our faith, plus God keeping us cool and safe. But I still hope we get 4 more years so we could throw a huge parade. I can see it now, Patriots on a float, and POTUS will go down in history as one of the GOATs. For making the swamp pay for taking every one of his votes. His enemies are the cancer, whether or not Trump give him the smoke. Now relax it back and take notes, as we kick facts with the homie Ray though. Speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we ain't even trying to, we make them liberals mad. I said speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we not even trying to, we make them liberals mad. I said, speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we're not even trying to, we make them liberals mad. Speak your mind. It's freedom time. Without even trying to, we make them liberals mad.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Good late afternoon, people, patriots, whoever you consider yourself to be. Welcome to another edition of the Patriots Lab. And we are now live on Facebook, both groups, YouTube, Twitch. Just plug y'all in, Twitter, and Rumble. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Keep all comments respectful. How's everybody doing? With me this afternoon, I have Jenn, the homeschooling mom, Woodruff.
Hello.
Most of y'all already know who she is from other podcasts such as David Boogie and the Bull and American Rebellion. Hello, good afternoon. How are you, Jenn?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you for coming in. I know it was last minute, but I was like, who can I get to come and sit in with me today that will basically tell me something I don't already know? And you was possibly the first person that came to mind. So I am sharing this. Y'all already knows what happened. I got caught behind the 8 ball a little bit, so y'all got to bear with me. And y'all see the title. We are going to be starting off today's podcast basically talking about prepped. Are you prepped?
Prepping.
Do you believe you're prepping? And what is the importance of prepping? But before we do that, we are going to play a little clip here, like we like to do here in the lab. And then me and Miss Woodruff, we will go ahead and piggyback off of it. Like, share, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Join the conversation.
Everyone, Morgan here, and today we are going to be dehydrating potatoes to make instant potatoes. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just cutting up everything. I did have some potatoes that were like kind of on the verge, and I was like, you know what do I do with these? I'm going to dehydrate them and make instant potatoes. And then some are going in my garden as well. So let's go ahead and just cut them up into the smallest cubes possible. You don't have to be as fast as me. I know I'm super fast. Just, cut them up the very best that you can at your speed. Obviously, this is heightened. I just thought it was funny. Okay, so just cut them all up into cubes, however many you have. Now we're going to boil them, just like you were making mashed potatoes, because technically, that's what we're doing. While the potatoes are cooking, I'm preparing my dehydrator trays with parchment paper, and this is what the potatoes are going to go on. All right, now I am mashing all the potatoes like you're making mashed potatoes, and I'm doing it in my KitchenAid. And then you're going to put them on the trays. You're going to kind of mash them down as evenly and as thinly as possible. Just do your best. It's kind of a nightmare. I'm doing it one-handed, but even two-handed holding them, it's kind of difficult. Just do your best to get them as thin as possible. So here's my best. Like I said, as thin as possible. It will dehydrate no matter how thick it is. You just want it as thin as possible just to dehydrate a little bit faster. Dehydrate at 125. All right, so these actually dehydrated super fast. I think they were done within about 8 hours or so. I actually let it go all night long. It was like 12 plus hours. But when I had checked it, like at 8 hours, they were pretty much done. But I just let it go. You can't really dehydrate these too much. So, dehydrate them until they're nice and crispy and crunchy and hard. That's exactly what you want, because next step is going to be putting them in your blender or any type of mixer or whatever, grinding it down into as fine powder as you can get. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Da, 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 da. Instant mashed potatoes, dehydrated yourself. Isn't that wonderful? It looks great. So now the next step is going to be putting it in a Mylar bag. I went ahead and I'm going to be storing this for my short/long-term layer. This should last a good 5 or more-ish years. Yay, all done. You did great. Thanks so much for watching Conquer Tomorrow by Preparing Today.
Wow.
Okay. So some of us have green thumbs, love to be in the garden, but right now I don't think a green thumb is what we need right now. Tell us a little bit about what we saw, Jen, what you're into, and if there's any other things that us as Americans can do to get prepped. And it's not just for war and all this. It's just for a lot of things, because it has a lot of benefits of prepping. I got other videos that we'll get into that also. Go ahead, Jen.
What I loved about this is that, well, first of all, you can make prepping not like something you do on the side, but include it in your meal planning. I mean, this is so cool that I love that she's using potatoes that were going to go bad, that we usually end up pitching. She's like, no, she can put them in her compost pile in her garden, or she can make something out of them, which I really prefer, including that in prepping, because I always think, dear God, we have to spend another $100 on just food that we're not going to be able to eat until, everything hits the fan. And then we can. We got these perfectly good groceries, and what she's doing is saying, no, use what you got right now and turn it into a prepped food. And so I love that, because who doesn't like instant mashed potatoes? At a restaurant we don't, but in our own pantry it's okay. Because I remember how many times we go out to eat and the kids are like, do these taste weird to you, Mom? I'm like, no, they're wonderful, they're potatoes. And even the restaurants that I waitressed at, customers would say, is it real potatoes? And I'm like, yes, it is. It's Idaho potatoes. They were probably broken down the same way that lady showed us. But what I love about it is that it's something that we have and we have access to it. Now, I tried to do what she did, but I don't have a dehydrator. So it's something I'll have to ask for Christmas. I tried to do it in my oven, and you can't bake it low enough, long enough in your oven, or high enough. I don't know what it is, but they came out delicious, and the girls and I were like snacks. So they weren't dehydrated, so we just put salt and butter on it, and that's what we had, baked potato pieces. But I love prepping, and that is just a way you can do something at your house on your own. And these, let's see, I was showing, where are they here?
Yeah, I was saying you was showing me, and
Yeah.
this is if nothing else, it saves a ton of storage space. When she tells you how many bags she get in this thing.
Right. Well, okay, this is a bag. This is from a bag of pinto beans. And these make the best Mexican beans, that they're like boiled and smashed up and delicious. You can do other things with this instead of just Mexican beans, but I put the pinto beans. Let's see, you get 8.5 cups in each one of these 2-liter bottles, and you have to keep them in a cool, dry, dark place, because if bugs can get by it, I'm really concerned that they can get under that cap and weasel their way in. I know boll weevils can, and that's scary. So I'm always, when we dust, go in the pantry and wipe off your bottles. Okay, so I do that with beans, and I do it with rice. Now, these both came in big 40-pound bags, and I can't store the 40-pound bags without them taking up a lot of space. So here, this is half gone because this is one we're actually using right now. But this is a great tool for storing as long as you keep them clean and in a cool, dry place, and not just for storage purposes, but for bartering purposes.
Right.
Now, I have bartered with farmers. Like they'll say, "Could you and your kids please help me clear out this crop? And you could take home so many pounds." And we'd say, "Sure." And we would trade them. Like what was it? I think we had 20 ears of corn for 2 bottles of rice or something. Or no, it was probably the beans. But anyways, and I'm thinking this guy's just being really nice to us, and he's trying to show my children how the bartering system works because he's a farmer. I think he's got more than enough stuff in cans and in his silo and barn. But it was kind, and you can use this for other moms that are prepping. We trade stuff all the time. It's great. There's this one lady who makes this wonderful, I want to call it bread, but there's nothing bready about it. It's hardtack. It's like something you snack on if you're going up north. It's what they did in the Civil War. It's like this hard cake, and that she puts jello in it, so it's got a good flavor and sugar, and it's got all your electrolytes, the salts and the sugars, and it's great with coffee. Besides that, I wouldn't like it. It's just like a really good
Right.
biscuit. But it's fascinating. Things like that. And it stores forever. She puts it in a zip or what is that? It's a Ziploc or freezer bag. I don't know. It's like a seal. That's what it is. It's a moisture seal thing. It's fantastic. And that's how we do our food too, that we freeze. You put it
Hmm.
in these vacuum seal packs and it lasts a lot longer. So, the other thing I wanted to say about your grains, you don't have to put them in bottles. I just do that because these bags are huge. And you can take, like, I went to the dollar store right when, what's his name? God, the resident got in the White House. And I said, I just feel in my spirit that we need to start prepping more. So we go to the dollar store before it was a $1.25 store, and everything really was a dollar. So I got all kinds of noodles and dry goods, just noodles and rice and beans and stuff you could put, like you can keep that in your house. The freshest way to store it is in a 55-gallon trash can. The stainless steel ones with the stainless steel top, you just throw your grains in there that are not in these huge 40-pound bags, and then
Hmm.
you can put the lid on top of it, and they're airtight. They're not going to get bugs. And you can even throw a nice cloth over the top of the lid and make it look like it's an end table or a corner table, behind the couch that nobody sees. And it's food storage. So it's not like you're being obvious, like, hi, we're hiding food. But it was a wonderful thing to do. So we did that. And I believe it's in another house. It's not here. I think when my friends borrowed it, otherwise I would show you that too. But it is so important to always have something, to fall back on or to have in the pantry. Sometimes you just don't want to cook, and it's like, what do you
That's right.
do? Grab a bag of noodles and a can of cream of something, and there
That's
you
right.
go. So, but it's so good to know that you prepped the stuff for emergency, but you can use it right now too, so it doesn't go bad.
Well, hey, you take a sip. People, patriots, whoever you consider yourself to be. I got a great guest with me tonight, Jenn Woodruff, the homeschooling mom. And we're sitting here talking about prepping and a whole lot more. But while she takes a sip and catches a breath, let's just see what these people got to say about it. Let me see. Let's go ahead and listen to her real quick.
This world where everything is instantaneous, where you can go get what you want, when you want, how you want it, and not do without. Especially in recent years, that has changed. We have emphasized with our family this need to reestablish the old ways, the old skills. Our grandparents and our great grandparents used to do things. We've always put stuff away here.
Right.
We've always made our own food from scratch, made jams, jellies.
Right.
However, we have become very proactive at it.
Right. And you realize
in
how
recent years.
important they are when you go to grocery stores and the shelves are a lot more empty than they
Yeah.
used to be. So I think it's important that you prepare from that position of peace, from the position of being proactive versus reactive. Getting a little bit extra each week or
Yeah.
finding your resources and stocking up on them is really how this world of this peaceful prepping is really truly implemented.
We live in this world where everything is
Y'all don't want to see that
instantaneous,
again. But that's just one of other clips we're gonna see tonight. So
That
y'all
was
like,
great.
share, subscribe, ring the bell so you can get the instant notifications. But yeah, it's important, and it, like I said, it serves so many different purposes, so many different services. If anybody out there was to say want to start getting involved, no matter what field, from vegetables to fruit to whatever it may be, excuse me, and they're just wanting to get started, what type of small steps could you introduce to them? How could you suggest that they start their process?
Well, I would certainly start with collecting dry grains like noodles and rice, as well as beans. And I really suggest going to the dollar store. Now it's the $1.25, but you can get little bags, little things that you could start with. If you want to go big, if you have a big family, you can get these big 40-pound, 20 to 40-pound bags of rice and grain. And you could always go with I think they have these food buckets. They have it at patriotfood.com. And there's also one at, I don't know, I think, PTL, Jim Baker. He has this huge, he's got a huge food ministry now, and it's actually a good thing. I don't know, he ran into trouble before, but now he does offer these big buckets of like really good stuff. I don't know how you could store all this, but it's $25 a bucket, and they have really good meals like macaroni and cheese and soups and things like that. You still have to cook, but he's freeze dried everything, and that's a good way to go. And my favorite thing to do to start this, besides buying the dollar store grains, is to see what you have in your own pantry and in your own fridge, and what you can dehydrate and save for a lot longer, perhaps vacuum seal it. And how much stuff do you have that you could freeze? Like even leftovers. Sometimes if we have steak, I'm like, oh my gosh, this stuff was expensive. This is not going to be pitched, and I'm not going to keep it in the fridge till it goes bad. So I just put it in a fancy Ziploc bag and I label it steak. And then when I heat it up again, you warm it up in beef broth so it absorbs moisture and it plumps up, and it almost looks like you just cooked it. So don't forget about using your freezer. Get a Sharpie marker and a Ziploc bag, and don't waste anything. Seriously, unless it's really bad and it's dead, put it in a pile in your backyard in your compost pile to add to your garden.
Hey, I'm learning a lot. I got Jenn in the house with me tonight. Woodruff, the homeschooling mom. First, I want to give quick shout outs before we continue. Ben Truckins in the building, Gene Citrone, Philip E. McNichol, Mo Lowe, Matt, Michael Garud, Dana Farrell Jones, Bonnie Theismann Drake, Mark Salmonson, Tony R. Bake, Join Peterson, Jonathan, the Mayor Garcia, Judith Hall, Greg Swatford, Randy Gressenbeck. And it looks like YouTube has yet to enter the building. Twitch has yet to enter the building. These how notifications work. So y'all make sure y'all like, share. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. But remember, also, if you want to come onto the live broadcast, just drop me a DM. I'll send you the link. You're more than welcome to get up on here. But what I have learned and found out real quick, I will no longer be putting the link up because Facebook really isn't used to trolls and stuff like that. But once you get on Twitch and YouTube and you let them start interacting, yeah, I'll call y'all out because y'all don't know how to behave. You get the ignorant ones that want to show up. So from now on, links will only be going out by request. Request only, no longer popped up on screen. Okay, where are we at? Oh, we was talking about prepping. Why did see when you don't do something, obviously can you tell I'm not a prepper? But if I had to prep and if I had to barter, um what would I? Well, I love to smoke. So I might be the neighborhood happy go lucky person. I don't know. See, because some places is legal, so they can't say nothing about it. Now they let you grow it, smoke it. So some places is overdoing it because I still say, and this is for my weed heads, okay? This is for my weed heads. There's a time and a place for everything. You're still supposed to do things with discretion, okay? The streets ain't got to be smelling like marijuana just because we can do it now. There's a time and a place for everything. And you know what? It just so happens, we're talking about bartering and we're talking about growing your own shit and living off the natural resources because you can't depend on nobody but yourself. And who's better than one of the people who started out with? I used to think, I started seeing him do some plant containers, and I couldn't go with it. I keep it real. I couldn't go with it because I couldn't understand it. So when I figure out what my lane is, and I was like, yo, that just ain't me, I went on to something else with Mr. Mayor, Mr. Governor. Everybody's favorite governor, as he would say, ex-governor. Candidate.
Former governor candidate.
Former governor candidate. And I keep telling him and telling him and telling him, hey, Seabiscuit, hey, hey, Seabiscuit won a race, right?
Yeah, I think overall I won the race.
Okay, but I still want to see you back out there because you got so much to give. See, I don't never give up. I'm like a coach or something. I don't never give up on talent. And this man right here, I don't know. It's hard to. Let me just keep it like this and tell me if I'm barking up the right tree. It's hard for somebody to keep fighting for something that over time just seem to don't gain traction. Like he's fighting a lost cause. Like not enough people are just gravitating to the cause where it can make a person. Oh, I guess I'm speaking from experience. It can make a person feel kind of unworthy. Not unworthy, but like what he's doing is in vain. So why? I don't know.
Nothing was in vain.
What's up, Jonathan?
I'll put it this way. You see these right here? All these nice neodymium magnets. They all serve a purpose. But like a true metaphor, they all stick together. So the stronger the more that you stack together, the stronger they are, right? As far as the pulling power. And that's basically the way I viewed the Patriot Nation, believe it or not. Because as I can attest to in this shirt that was made for me by my brother, which is a silent partner and some stuff, he can tell you that I warned people about China and their influence. And we're seeing Gavin Newsom doing his thing out there in San Francisco. And as far as the prepping and everything like that, I've warned people about that too. And, I've tried my best to show people the easiest, simplest way. If they want to mess up your soil, if they want to try to trash everything out in the elements, you can actually grow inside your house. And that was one of the reasons why, which is sort of an old trade that I picked up before I started campaigning. I was looking for solutions on what to do if I couldn't go outside and I couldn't plant. So I chose to look for many other ways, such as hydroponics, aquaponics, and that was some of the things that I showed people, not only on YouTube but also on TikTok, which I was very leery about TikTok in the beginning, but I had to use TikTok during my campaign since I was being stifled on Facebook and other social media platforms. My overall message was that free people don't ask permission for God-given and inalienable rights. And so with that platform, I was really trying to show people how to exercise their freedoms, even at home, during a pandemic, and for another one, if it decides to come. Also, not just because of a pandemic, but also I was looking out for people that wanted to actually make a dent in their grocery bill and eat healthy and know where their food is coming from. So I had a lot of interesting experiences growing habaneros, jalapenos, bell peppers, cilantro, lettuce, cabbage, all types of stuff indoors. And the cool thing about it was I found an interesting system of how to do it. And I really wanted the Patriots to really catch on so they could start putting their money back and also being able to vote with their dollars. So for all these corporations out here that are willing to put non-GMO products in your food and to also put artificial this and artificial that in your food, I was really showing people a very heartfelt solution to a problem of getting contaminated food from these big companies. And I wish a lot of people would have caught on, but you know, for the ones that listen, the proof is in the pudding. So, you know,
Right.
I would like to tell people that I will be releasing more information because I grow fruit trees and I grow herbal gardens and all that, all types of stuff. But the main thing that I really wanted people to really latch on to was the fact that you need to protect your family at all costs. And the
Right.
biggest way that you can do that is by growing good, wholesome food the way that we used to back in the day. And you
Right.
don't have to worry about people who's going to pick your crops and you're going to do it. You know, who's going to pick your vegetables
Right.
and who's going to pick your fruit and all that stuff. You're going to do it. Who's going to make your lemonade? You're going to do it. You know, who's going to make your jellies and stuff like that? You're going to do it. That's a part of my whole message of declaring your independence. Once again, we were to revisit
That's good.
declaring our independence as we the people, because if old Bill and his associates want to jack up our food supply, which they've been doing, we need to have an alternative and a clean alternative. So for everybody out there that thought that there's never a governor candidate, there's never a politician out there, there's never a patriot out there that's trying to, you know, look out for we the people, you had one for 3 years. And you actually had one for over 8 years. So I wasn't no fly-by-night person that, you know, just popped up and said, hey, this is cool, let me run.
Right.
I really wanted the message to sink home that when we talk about making America great again, it starts at home. It starts with you and me. It starts by, you were talking about homeschooling. I was one of the main biggest supporters of homeschooling because I know the power of homeschooling.
Thank you.
And unfortunately, you know, not a lot of people have the opportunity to do that, which is it's kind of an excuse that, hey, I don't have the time to do it. But sometimes what's more important is you have to make the time for your children. And the other part about it is I was really trying to combat the fact that, with single mother households and whatnot like that,
Right.
we need to revisit the whole family structure, having mom and dad in there, having them raising children that are wholesome and whole-minded, and that would help out with a lot of these insane events that we see from people that clearly do not have the mental faculties besides, basically causing a terrorist state, as you would look at it.
Right.
Well,
So,
good.
yeah, I'm just going to say this, that in prepping, there's ways of making sure that you have fresh food. Stored food is good, but it's also better to have fresh food to actually mix in there. And so if you want fresh food, the what I've found out is go ahead and just convert that closet into a vegetable garden, or convert that single room that's in non-use, like I did, into a vegetable garden.
Wow.
And if you can't grow indoors, then I even had a whole hydroponic system where you can grow out on your porch.
Awesome.
So,
That's good.
I hate being the odd man out, because see, y'all talking that lingo, y'all talking that prepping lingo, y'all know exactly what each other talking about. I'm sitting here, but I'm learning. It's always good to learn. I might not right now understand what y'all talking about, so I'm gonna dive into it, because there is benefits to everything y'all do and are doing. Because, I guess the saying, I'd rather be safe than sorry, can apply in this situation also. People say, I'd rather, if you stay ready, you ain't got to worry about getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
It's just applied to the food and the arms industry, which I have yet to dive into, but I see that too is starting to be a necessity in our American way of life.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what us people like myself once felt a need that we never had to put ourselves in, now we find we might have to make different common sense decisions. And I just say common sense because, let's face it, hey, at the end of the day, we don't know where this thing is going to end. So you got to start preparing. When you know of the unknown, you got to prepare. Go ahead, Jen.
William, do you like green onions? Those green onions where you they have the tall green things and you chop
The
up
long ones, yeah.
You get some of those, and
Girl, they grow. Do you know? I live in Tennessee, and I mow my grass every year. I mow it all the time, and I'm like, what the hell is all this wild stuff? These little
you are
skinny
killing.
things growing up. So after living in the house and now I know what it is outside here at the new spot. But I'm like, yo, and my neighbor came over. He pulled that stuff out the ground and had one of them little bulbs on it. And he said, bite into it. I said, dude, this is a scallion. I said, bro, this is an onion. So I went back in the field and pulled out the real ones. Dude, bulbs on it the size of a nickel.
Those are and those little things at the bottom, those little white roots.
Mm-hmm.
Grow them. When you get it, chop up just save the little root parts with a little piece of the bulb and plant it.
Are those green onions? I can sell those. Sell those.
You can grow them in your house. Cut the bottom of a 2-liter pop bottle off. Fill it with. You probably have to drill 2 little holes in it for drainage, but you can grow them. Plant those. They have roots in them. That's what those little white things are underneath the bulb.
I got a homeschool mom question. Why would I grow them?
That was one of the.
Why would I grow them in my house if I walk out my door?
Well, we're not as lucky as you. We live in Idaho.
You guys know that I was even okay. So what I was finding out too is how to like propagate celery and
Ooh.
and also propagate lettuce that I got from the local food or from the local market, but also onion, your red onion and white onion and stuff like. Actually, more so your red onion. You can regrow that and start it out of water. Believe it or not, all that stuff, even your celery, your lettuce, your onions, all that stuff. So you don't have, if you know how
That's
to
awesome.
cut it right, yeah, you can still get more use out of it and still, cut a dent into your grocery bill.
Nice.
A lot of people don't understand that. I was really trying to show, just a common sense way of how to, do some extracurricular living.
Well, hey,
Right.
we're gonna jump back to the because that's what's heading this all off. The prepping. If you ain't prepped, you need to hear about prepping and what you can do to get started on prepping. Don't be like me and be afraid to prep. Just stick around. But in the meantime, in between time, we're about to go into a clip, and then you know how we do. We're about to piggyback off of it and give it our own. But until then, y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, ring that bell so you can get them instant notifications. And yo, can we please get some adults in the building? We're back in
Now,
middle
let's
school.
talk about Mr. O'Brien himself, his behavior. As everybody knows, and it's here in the last time, him and I kind of had a back and forth. Appreciate your demeanor today. It's quite different. After you left here, you got, in fact, you tweeted at me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And let me read what the last one said. It said, greedy CEO who pretends like he's self-made. Sir, I wish he was in the truck with me when I was building my plumbing company myself. My wife was running the office because I sure remember working pretty hard and long hours. Pretends like he's self-made. What a clown. Fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place.
No, he
Run your
didn't.
mouth. We can be two consenting adults. We can
This is
finish
the
it here.
people running our country.
Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it.
Oh,
Shut
he's
up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big
No,
guy.
no, stop it.
Is that your solution, every
Oh, no, sit down. Sit down.
Okay.
You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
please.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond, Mr.
Hold
Chairman?
it. Hold it. If
I
wish we
can't-
had more
no, I
senators
have
like
mine.
you.
I'm sorry.
This is
Hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't.
So,
wow.
yeah, and y'all wonder why. Now, let me say this. If it had some substance to it, if they was getting ready to fight over this Israel Hamas shit, if they was getting ready to fight over open borders, if they was getting ready to fight over illegal immigration, if they was getting ready to fight over the fentanyl, if they was getting ready to fight over any of those issues, but dude, you tweeting and my wife don't like it, calling me a tough guy, saying I talk tough. Oh no, it's going down right now, dude. That's like meeting in the cafeteria in high school, middle school, because y'all been beefing before. Bro. These is grown ass dudes that allegedly are supposed to be running our country, and they ready to throw down on Capitol Hill over some tweets. Jen.
Yeah, the
go ahead.
Teamster.
Well, go ahead, John. Then the Jen.
Yeah, so the Teamster guy, he's the one that sent the tweets to
Yeah.
the senator, and so the senator wasn't going to be backing down, and the senator wants to know where all these tax dollars have went that were allocated to the union, basically, and which were unaccounted for, I guess. And so the Teamster guy, felt that he was getting, bullied by the senator.
But Jonathan, come on, bro. I want to go with you, but you know how we do here in the lab, people.
Anyway.
If he couldn't catch him in the parking lot, bro. He could have met me in
Hey,
the parking lot. I mean, deal with the issue at hand. That's all I'm saying, Jonathan. Deal with the issue at hand, the substance at hand. But bro, to be ready to bro, they made
I
it
wanted
look
to see
like
some taxation without, excuse me, taxation with representation. It's gonna about to represent.
because if you look at it, it looked like the Roman arena. You know how it had the stage set, it had a circle and everything, it had the bleachers all around it. Bro, they was about to
Coliseum.
go
Oh
into
yeah,
they was about to
yeah.
go into the circle, bro. Is that what it's coming to on Capitol Hill now? Let's take it to the circle.
Well,
Oh God.
I think what would have been proper is if the Teamster guy, he really shouldn't have tried to call him out, said anytime, any place cowboy, because where I come from, that means you want to knuckle up. And when I see you, it's on. And I have had in my past some skirmishes, which I'm not proud of, which I came out on top of.
Bro, what's he gonna tell his kids? What he gonna tell? Because
He whooped somebody's butt.
no, but see, now you got the kids. See, I'm a devil's advocate. You got the kids sitting there, but Dad, you just whooped my ass last week because somebody got up in my face in school and called mama this and called me out my name, calling me a liar. And you on national TV, Congress. And Dad, you owe me. You got triple my allowance. I ain't never gonna let you live this down. You got triple it up right now. I ain't never gonna let you live this down. What? Come on. I'm just.
I
saying,
think he would have had to
Jonathan.
put more in the swear jar than just $100. I believe he was about to have to put in about like a grand or two because
What do you say, Jenn? Be that
he
third eye,
said stand
Jenn.
your butt up.
What do you say,
Wow.
Jenn?
I love the example we had at the beginning of this show with Jonathan's magnets. Yeah, if you have a strong enough team behind you and you can all stand as one, when that guy calls you out cowboy, I mean,
Yeah.
10 of you should stand up and say, no, you're not listening to what we're saying. And that's how you can deal with that and have a verbal match. But that was really awkward and uncomfortable, especially in such a setting. So, no, get a team, just like we were talking about in the American Rebellion. And it was Mr. Tolliver. He said, Jen, this place, it doesn't rot from the head down, is what everyone says. It's the president and or the resident, and it rots down. He goes, we have to build this nation from the bottom up. He's like, you need to get into the school board. We need to get into these little jobs and work our way up in restoring our nation. And I thought, wow, is that encouraging? And what I learned about the school board is when you go there, like, I'm really against this critical race theory. No, I don't know where these people or the person who wrote this curriculum got their degree from. You never
Marxism
turn,
101.
stop that. You're right. But what I'm saying is when you get a teaching degree, when you do anything with children, they never tell you to get the child to focus on themselves and then to look at other people and compare themselves and then to start classifying people to themselves and other people. Someone is an oppressor and someone's the oppressed. Which one are you?
Mhm.
And I'm like, dear God, they never do that. So I wanted to promote this other thing. It has to do with like prepping, growing your own, because we don't run over them with our lawnmowers, William. We're growing our own. I'm teasing you. We want to grow our own green onions in the house.
I thought it was the weed. I'm like, I got.
No, we're not. That
I
is
miracle
Save
grow
them
this
babies.
thing, bruh. Hey, now I find them in my pan, bro. I go outside with my morning cup of coffee, and I just pull a couple up, bro.
and that's great. But when you go to these meetings, when folks go to these town hall meetings or to these school board meetings, what they're doing is they're going there. They go up to throw up. And that's basically all that they're doing, saying what they don't like about what's going on. And they never propose what they want to go on. But a good leader who wants to be involved in changing things goes in there. And when you give your speech, you give them an ask. And what you're doing is you're asking them to look at something or you're proposing something, and they're just going to tolerate you. They're going to blow you off because you're not throwing up on them. They know you don't like what they have, but you're giving them something to think about. What you're really doing is talking to the room. You're not talking to the people who are the school board. What you're doing is you're gathering support. You're gathering more magnets behind you to move forward as a strong force to get your plan interesting or get it accepted. And you're getting people in the room to say, you're right. How do we do this? And then that's when all the constituents come in and you get on the ballot and you get voted for. So that's what I learned. And I don't know where we started
Good
with
stuff.
this. Yeah.
Good stuff.
So that's how we get involved.
Jonathan, back to prepping.
Mhm.
Let me see.
I always just wanted to have something to share. If like this shirt says, SHTF reports. I was actually with Jason Voiles and everybody that was on the team. We were looking for solutions from when it hit the fan. How could we share? And help each other out, especially even in our small communities. I'm in my little community over here, like I've told, in the past, I really don't say too much about it because what we're doing, but, we're all able to, share products and stuff like that. The hats, and I got hats, beanies, shirts, hoodies. I got a lot of stuff that
promote.
I just, it's not just, promoting of a name. It's the fact that even if you share something, just make sure that it's good quality, that you would wear it yourself. If you would sweat in it, wear it, work in it, all that type of stuff, then by all means, promote a good product. And I learned that also from when I was campaigning. I learned that from talking to my little couple minutes with Mike Lindell, which was pretty cool.
Right.
So I took his business model of actual of the My Pillow and how all that started, and I actually started with the hats right after the campaigning, and then the hats went to shirts, and then the shirts went to hoodies, and the hoodies went to beanies and stuff like that. But it's all just to be able to share. When we're kids, we're taught to share with our siblings, and then if you're lucky to have a friend nearby or next door, we share our bike, our skateboard, play basketball, play catch, bring out a ball and glove and go to town, have fun playing pickle, all types of stuff, playing dodgeball. Not everybody has to hold the ball, but you better start damn dodging it because here it comes and it might hit you in the head. So
You're right.
It's a team.
You're right. Well, everybody, hey, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure y'all keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. I got Jenn Woodruff, the homeschooling mom, and I got everybody's favorite former governor candidate, Jonathan Garcia. And we are just moving right along, zipping through this because I know I'm on Jen's on borrowed time. But let's get into this. We never, it is what it is. It really, what they say, judge, let ye not be judged, or something like that. I just want y'all to know that it does exist, no matter how we want to try to deny it and stuff. But the thing that saddens me is your tax dollars is what's paying for it. You say, Ray, what are you talking about? Well, go ahead. Take it away, News Network.
We start the 5 of the big story tonight. High-end brothels reportedly happening in our own backyard.
The Department of Justice arresting 3 people, operating 2 in Virginia and 1 in Massachusetts. Some of their customers allegedly include elected officials, military officers, and government contractors. Fox 5's Tisha Lewis joining us live from McLean tonight. Tisha? Well, an incredible story here in the latter that you mentioned are people who have security clearances. So obviously that adds an additional layer of concern, problematic to say the least. We are here at one of two addresses that the Department of Justice listed as where these brothels are occurring here on the 1500 block of West Branch Drive. Investigators say interested sex buyers reportedly provided employer information, references, and then booked appointments. 3 people are charged with conspiracy to coerce and entice to travel to engage in illegal sexual activity. Those people are 41-year-old Cambridge, Massachusetts resident Han Lee, 68-year-old Torrance, California resident James Lee, and 30-year-old Massachusetts resident Jenn Lee. They've been arrested and accused of operating these brothels in Boston and Virginia. The Department of Justice describes the operation as sophisticated and says sex buyers apparently include elected officials, high-tech and pharmaceutical executives, doctors, and more. In fact, again, we're told the so-called client list include government contractors who have security clearances. Charging documents indicate apparent sex buyers would go to brothels in Cambridge, Watertown, and right here in the Tysons area, and also in Fairfax on the 2900 block of District Avenue in the Mosaic District.
Sadly, it doesn't. I'm not even going to listen to the commentations from that. So, this is now you would say, Ray, that's their business. Why you dipping and dabbing? You know, they grown men. But it's who they're attached to, the type of work that they do, the clearances that they have. We've already been through the Fang, you know, the Swalwell thing.
Yeah.
We already know. We already that has yet. Because believe me, Fang wasn't in it for Swalwell. Ain't no way in hell you gonna get me to believe she was in it for Swalwell. So there's more to come to that one. But these people, in order to, and a lot of these girls were foreigners. A lot of them were foreigners. This is an organization that they had. These individuals had to give up a photo identification, credit card information, dude. What do you know? What a half brilliant hacker can get once they have your photo ID and credit card? Eventually, it leads to your social security number. Eventually, it leads to your bank accounts. Eventually, it has tentacles. It leads to another individual. Then it leads open to their shit. And then Jen, what do you think about? I ain't gonna say these was old men. I ain't gonna say they was all married. But what do you think about the situation at hand? Is it a security threat? Is it something we should be concerned about as Americans?
If it's happening in your district, or if your representative is participating in that district, yes. Everything that he's ever talked about or signed off on in your district or in your state, your name is on it. Everything is compromised. This is stupid. They know better than that. That's my latest thing. They know better. It's ridiculous. They absolutely know better, and they need to be held accountable.
I mean, because to me, and then we're going to drop down to Jonathan. To me, when you're dealing with women, and you got to have pillow talk. And what are they talking about? I mean, it's not like they talk about stories about them being superheroes or something. So I'm thinking they talk about the only thing they know, which is, I have the great job. We got YouTube and Twitch at the same time in the building. What it do. But, you know, Jonathan, what do you think, man? What's going on?
I think in so many ways, you know, we the people are once again getting screwed.
Literally speaking.
Yeah.
They had government clearances. They're getting paid off our tax dollars, and yet they're screwing we the people again. As they're screwing we the people. You know, and you think about it like this too. Everybody, we have not seen the whole Gilligan's Island list, and we're getting screwed on that. But yet they can come up with this well known and have all these political figures and whatnot, you know, on this issue. There's so many other issues. And don't forget, before Gilligan's Island, there was Heidi Fleiss, and you know her Lolita, or her Madam Express, whatever she had going on for years. So it's going to keep on going on. Just like we always had saloons and we had the brothels back in the day in the Wild West, it's always going to go on. It's the world's oldest trade. And you know, if you look at the red light district in Amsterdam, you know, people go over there and party and everything like that. It's in Amsterdam, it's one of those things where the government taxes the brothels and gets taxed, you know, taxes them and everything like that.
This is my thing, though. This is my
well,
thing.
let me finish this up real quick.
All right, go ahead. That's what you got to do to me, guys. If y'all ain't
I just got a quick little. So I think the real injustice, though, with everything going on, as far as these officials and everybody that was linked to this, I mean, you're supposed to be in offices of integrity. And, you know, duty, respect, honor, strength, all that stuff, the virtues, at least the 7 top virtues, not the 7 wrong virtues, but the 7 top virtues, you know, one is integrity. So at best, you know, jail time, loss of position, you know, give them their due process and everything like that. But quick screw them, we the people. We're tired of it. We really are. And especially with having to deal with people's families. We don't know if, you know, maybe that was an affiliation with the ring. You know, we don't know that. But if it does happen to where, you know, those workers were a part of a ring, then, you know, that's even duly worse. That's 10 times worse. And that's everything that we don't stand for as we the people. We're done with it. We're sick with it. We have 4 years of a president, you know, that we were lucky to have, that was fighting for it. They took him out, and now he's on the sideline. And now we're kind of in a limbo state of, you know, things that still have to get done to protect not only we the people, but our children. Right. And that's the problem. You know, that is really the problem. You know, what kind of precedent does that state for we the people? Where do we as we the people stand? You know, do we get together as, you know, as the magnets and say, hey, justice is justice, you know? And it's just a matter of how tired are we as we the people.
And that's the thing. Where is our breaking point? Where is the Americans as a people, as a nation? What is our threshold to where we say enough is enough, no more? I was having a conversation with a gentleman earlier, and if you just sit back and watch the trajectory of not only this country, but this world, from where it has dived into in these past years, if you sit back, you literally could see no end to this in sight, which makes me ask the question, what type of miracle? Because nobody's retreating. None of these wars are just simultaneously going to not exist anymore. They're not going to do nothing but escalate. So at what point things here in America aren't going to do nothing but continue to digress and get worse and worse and worse. So at what point do we take it back? Because we know at the end of the day, America is not going to get lost. But at what point do we start taking America back? That is the question, because there is coming a day. Because if this goes on, it will literally be the end of civilization. And I can't see that. So there has to be, call it what you may, a miracle of our time, a miraculous reset that we can't see right now. Because me personally, I see war, death, destruction. I'm like, yo, the game is fixed, is rigged against us. And I see no light at the end of the tunnel. So what is it going to take, and how long is it going to take? Jen, take it to you.
Well, we're not in a sprint. It's not a race. And I wish it was, and we could see the end. We're in a marathon. And what we have to do is endure and just look at each little thing as a hurdle. Like last week we tackled the issue of this hypersexualism in the books for the children's school. And I'm like, no, we're mothers. We have the power. And I said, you can't talk to me like that, explicitly inappropriate at a job, because I could get you fired and I could, get you sued. Affidavit. That's the word from Jonathan Garcia. I love it. I'm like, I'll sue you. If you're going to do your trans whatever story hour in my library where we're like just having a really good study session and learning how to do a craft, and you're going to talk to my kids like that and show us weird things? No, you're going to be on a sex offender list in my city, and I'm also going to write you up and you're going to be sued. And they stop doing it. So if we could just endure and look at each little battle as a hurdle and jump over it and just have the hope of saving your nation, that would be fantastic. But not everybody has that. What was the thing? You taught it to us yesterday. The 20-20-40 plan. It equals 100%. But 20% of the people don't care. They're sleeping. 20% of the people do care, and they're like complaining about it. I screwed it up, but it is
20-60-20. 20-60-20.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, we're only the 20% who are actually doing the hurdles and enduring, and the other people are just sleeping and watching. And I'm like, this is not a show. You have to pitch in. We are trying to save our country, and it would be really nice if you could open your mouth and be part of that too. So that's my spiel. And I get very frustrated when people don't care.
Keep it real, girl. Keep it 100.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I love. Go ahead, Jonathan.
And one of my biggest things 7 years ago was when I caught on to what was being leaked. And what I caught on to back in the day was at the beginning of it, when they were teaching 8-year-old sex ed, which I'm like, they're not even thinking of that at that age. I'm thinking, when I was 8 years old, I was thinking about GoBots, Transformers, Voltron, G.I. Joe, watching MacGyver, A-Team, right. Stuff like that. I was the interest of anything like that was like non-existent. They know that when you catch them at impressionable ages and you're cultivating their mind and you start grooming them, and that's what it is, then they are able to plant that seed. And that seed, just like the Bible says, once they plant that seed, all they need is that one seed of doubt, that one seed of non-faith, because mommy and daddy may be there, or may not be there, or daddy may not be there, and only mommy's there. So mommy's stuck alone and, raising a kid, but she doesn't even know what the kid's being taught in school. But then when it gets leaked, it's like, oh my God. So that seed has to be combated by something that is a positive influence. But that positive influence for a kid, if you look at the movie Hook, which is a very, very simple, just a little itty bitty part of that movie, which was a simple gotcha moment. Okay, so Peter Pan's kid basically came to the realization that his father never even fought for him. Never went to his baseball games, never went to any of his stuff to support him or anything like that. You have to have a real hands-on actual cultivation of your child's mind and heart. You have to be an intricate role in their upbringing. Not these dang athletes, not the LeBron James, because he's way out. Good God. Not these idiots that are these super athletes, okay? So they put points on the board, but why would you leave that up to them when you can see by their actions that no, that's not even cool. I mean, that's not even like the norm. Why would you just let your child be groomed into something that's not even acceptable as to being a norm? It's just like a kid at 8 years old, I wasn't thinking about racism. I was playing with everybody. And I'm from California.
Hey, Jonathan, that's one thing I could never understand. Because you can put some lyrics together to a beat, and because you can run a football, or because you can play a basketball, how did that all of a sudden make you a damn genius on life issue? How did that make you just the representation of a high IQ, substance speaking? The people, and see, people are the ones to blame, because you know what? I'm not getting a hard on because LeBron James walked by me. Dude, you a man. I might ask you to borrow some money, bro, but that's about it. I mean, I'm not. Oh, LeBron, you signed my
You get a good game. This is a good game, bro.
Yeah, I'm like American or a movie star or athlete. I'm like, yo, if they not feeding you, if they family should be they big, and some of their family they don't even get down with, but they wife and their kids should be they only ones that worship them like that. These people that don't even know them, don't even have an idea, but they can say something, and the percentage that 60%, go with it.
I think one of the things too, though, is if you're going to say that you stand for something, which I was very privileged to actually hear you speak at the Tennessee event for the first time. And I really wanted to tell you that the impact that had for what you were talking about, there should have been crowds of people there. There really should have been. And I was happy to actually be there the whole day into the night. And people need to understand that, these people that they propped up with all this influence and everything like that, they're, like the Bible says, the devil loves his own. It's always going to prop up the ones that he likes. So, or what the agenda of his doing, his will. These people that are in high influence are the ones that are there for a reason. And that is to get you out the way as a parent so they can basically manipulate them with these, these different agendas like, oh, it's so racist. Well, if you're judging people by the character and not the color of their skin, then you can judge an apple as being an apple and an orange being an orange, as its fruit. But, just to look for racism at any corner and everywhere, being paranoid about racism. I don't look for racism like that. I actually assume the best in people. The reason why I go to different events, which everybody's like, well, why are you campaigning? You don't have, a big old security detail and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm around patriots. I'm around people that I assume are not meaning me harm. They know that I do not mean ill will to them, and if they have a question, I could definitely answer them face to face. But the thing is, though, too, is that it's respect, and I'll give people off the invite the same respect they show me, and I give them that, and we stand, 100. And I'll listen to you. And, if the facts or the truth don't bear it out, then we may have a agree to disagree or whatever. But I could peacefully go my way. I don't, and the other part of it is our children aren't going to have that chance the way things are going. They want to put us in jail for speaking the truth. That's the problem. It's really getting that way, especially in the UK right now. Because they have the thought police.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's getting bad now, for real. So we need to really cherish.
Elaborate on that. What was that? The thought police?
Yeah, the thought police. That you say something on the internet, and they're following everything that we say on the internet.
Oh.
But if we were living in the UK, they'll knock on your door, say, "Hey, you said this on Facebook or whatever platform." And then they'll hold you to it and say, hey, you said something about this people, or you said something about this ideology or agenda or whatever, or this sexuality or whatever. And you're going to have to spend some time in jail for what you say, just because that was your opinion.
I want peace in the Middle East. I want peace. I want peace here in America. I don't want nobody to get harmed. I preach the actual and factual is best I can to my capability, but I don't want nobody to get mentally or physically damaged in any way, shape, or form. I just figured I'd throw that in there. What's today? Today is November 15th, 6/14. I got nowhere to dig into in case they come knock on the door. Like, bro, I deal with that.
Look, so being an indoor gardener, when you get to see something from a seed turn into a whole plant, and every day you're watching this thing grow, you have a different appreciation of life. I'm very fortunate to be able to walk out my door and walk to the backyard, and sometimes I'll see a doe and her deer, and they stay in the tree line sometimes, or they come out a little bit and they snort at me and then they go back. But I'm at a point right now that I can appreciate being grateful for seeing life grow. And I never understood that, even when I was raising my little brother or helping raise my little brother, watching him, that even from a little baby, watching a person grow into an adult, there's not too many of us that last this long these days to actually see one generation, when we used to see 2-3 generations be great grandparents and stuff like that, and to see a whole room of our seed, and my grandmother that lived to 103.
Oh wow!
Got to see 4 generations.
That's fantastic.
And so when we're out here consumed in the daily life and not understanding that real life is having your own family, your children, being able to share that with the world, the good in the world, and promoting that, that's the things that I want to see globally. It'd be great if just live your life. Wherever you're at, just live your life to the fullest. Bring whatever you came into this world with, whatever gift it was, show it to the world. help somebody, share it with as many people as you can. And that was a lot of the things that helped me get as far as my motivation in the campaign. But if I ever was in the mindset of find racism at every corner, I would have lost so many friendships.
Oh my gosh! Right.
That I have come to appreciate in the last 8 years, that we should never even have ever had the opportunity to call ourselves friends, brother, sister, be able to meet from cross country. I've had people from Hawaii that I met, and they come out, and we're from straight West Coast Pacific to the Atlantic. I know that there's somebody out there that has the same, close to, if not the same, but some type of camaraderie, that, hey, all we want to do is see each other, grow and become better. That's what life is. That's
quick shout. Well, then we'll go back to quick shout outs real quick. Daryl Fagans, welcome to the lab. Louis Evans, Patrick Byron, Darren Morgan, Michelle LeBlanc, Jim Blantley Green, Mike Engel, Amelia Cooper, my sister, Joseph Whitmore, Tanya Tolfison, Darryl McLean, Darla Lilly, and I am all caught up. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I got with me Jenn Woodruff, the homeschooling mom, and y'all already know Jonathan Garcia, the former governor candidate. The great state of Georgia. I'm gonna get it right sooner or later. You got so many titles.
Yeah, all right. It could be entrepreneur. It could be gardener.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm in a job. You have mine.
That's awesome.
Y'all find a job, man. I'm in a job.
I'm working on the 6th job, man.
Hey, if y'all live near Jonathan, at least if it go down the way we don't want it to go down, y'all know where to go. Y'all know where to get all your preserves and all your anything else you might need. Y'all just keep Jonathan Garcia in mind. And
come to North Georgia.
But remember, in order to get something, you got to bring something. That's that bartering system. We're gonna start getting into that, but we're gonna jump into our last clip, and then we're gonna tip it off with Jenn, round it out with Jonathan, and then we're gonna wrap it up for the evening. But please keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing to this self-funded podcast. And yes, I did say self-funded podcast.
A lot of things are self-funded.
That's right.
A number of migrants are refusing to leave after the city sent buses to take them to a new shelter in Brooklyn. CBS 2's Zania Maldonado has been outside the Watson Hotel all morning long, where she's spoken to migrants. Zania, what's happening right now?
Well, Mary, earlier this morning, a few more MTA buses did arrive to bring those migrants to the new shelter in Brooklyn you mentioned. Now, we did see a few of the migrants who decided to sleep outside the Watson Hotel get onto those MTA buses, and a few migrants came out of the hotel as well. Still another new MTA bus that did arrive. NYPD are on scene as well. We believe they're going to be transporting the migrants decided to stay back onto that bus, getting them to that shelter at the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal. Now, we're told by the migrants we spoke to earlier this morning, they went to that shelter, saw the conditions, and decided to come right back. This is what the inside of the new migrant relief center at the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal looks like. Cots stacked in tight head to toe. A migrant showing me the picture he took when he left the Watson Hotel over the weekend, boarded the MTA bus sent by the city, and arrived to the shelter. A migrant showing me the picture he took when he left the Watson Hotel over the weekend. Looks like cots stacked in tight head to toe.
Let me get back to my screen. I said it. You ungrateful pieces of beep, 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 beep. How dare you? Now, these are the facilities that are totally being surpassed for our veterans, homeless veterans, our homeless people or people are less fortunate, and you dare, because your asses have been put up in a $438 a night hotel. Now, don't get me wrong, I put up a fight too. Damn it, I want to stay. I ain't trying to go toe to toe, head to head down there. Not when you put me up in a 5-star. So I hear where you're coming from, you ungrateful beeps. But you ain't getting a pass from me on it.
Wow.
It's a shame that we're even dealing. Dude, they reported. I gotta bring it to you. I know, Ray, what the hell's going on? I don't know. They got 3 hots in the cot, and they like, yo, we going back to Venezuela. Oh shit! So you got that much of an attitude because they kicking you out of the Roosevelt, the Sunset, and out of the row, and they putting you in something that our homeless people don't have the benefit of having, and it got so bad that you ready to go back to your own country. Oh shit, Jen, I'm gonna bring it to you, Jen. Let me go ahead and let this play out, because this right here.
Oh, a migrant showing me the picture he took when he left the Watson Hotel over the weekend, boarded the MTA bus sent by the city, and arrived to the shelter.
Porque allá está feo. He says the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal is ugly. He says it's disgusting.
Migrants say they'd rather sleep outside the Watson, where they were previously placed, than stay at the terminal, spending Sunday night on the sidewalks and inside tents.
They're not looking for luxury. They're looking for a dignified process with which to advance. And that the situation that they've been put in, they keep feeling like they are put back to step one each time.
Mayor Adams announced a week ago plans to set up the 1,000-bed facility at the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal for single men to make room for asylum-seeking families and children at the Watson Hotel. But advocates say the conditions aren't suitable. Some of the migrants that went to the shelter came.
So before I pass this off to Jen, Jonathan, I'm gonna come stay the night at your house, okay? And then I'm gonna come climb in bed with you and your wife, and I'm gonna take your remote control out of your hand and get between y'all. And
no, you ain't.
That I want. Oh, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. You say I can come stay the weekend with you, and now I gotta sleep in the guest bedroom. What?
You got a tent.
Jen, we gonna wrap it up on a good note. Go ahead, Jen. Go ahead.
Oh, the first thing that comes to mind is beggars can't be choosers. And the second thing that is so ironic is they came here illegally, regardless of the resident saying they could, and that you could come and opening up the border. You're still an illegal, and they are saying they want to be treated with dignity. Okay.
No,
you're illegal.
Jen, they're in a heated building with
I know.
It ain't like they put them up at the shelter.
No, I'm not on their side at all. I'm saying it's so ridiculous that they're fighting. They're illegal. They're aliens, and they want to be treated with dignity. So they're not going to sleep in a cot if they're in a room with other people. Oh my gosh, what are our vets doing? And we used to host a couple rooms. I would host the women's room, and Jesse would host the men's room at a local church. It was a really cold winter, and we would make dinner for these homeless people, and they would come to this church and they would sleep just like that. But we only had 4 cots in a room, and it included their kids too. They could come in this room, and they loved it, and they were appreciative. It was just one night, but I mean, they weren't even illegal. They were just broke, and I can't believe this is happening. It's ridiculous. They're illegal aliens. They've destroyed this latest hotel plus the Roosevelt and whatever hotels we don't know about. They go to them, they destroy them, and they're not being treated with dignity. Go back home. Go back home.
They are now wanting to dictate the terms in which they live under now. So just coming over here isn't enough anymore. Getting 3 hots in a cot isn't enough anymore. Now they want to be particular in where they lay their heads. I'm wordless, I'm speechless, which never happens too much, but
You should be speechless.
beat them. Go ahead, Jonathan.
You should be speechless. Because the infrastructure is for we the people. It's not for illegals, and it's not for unlawful enterers into our country. We have sovereign borders. Unfortunately, we got to lay blame as far as why. And so we had the chance to have a big, beautiful wall up to make it harder for entry. And I hate to say it like this, but unfortunately, the establishment fought a rightfully sitting president for 4 years, making sure that we the people have a compromised state, which basically means we do not have a free state, but it's up to we the people to keep a free state. Unfortunately, what a lot of people did not hear from me was, if you knew my stance on the border, I said all border states, they need to have their people on the front line with armed resistance.
Amen.
Armed resistance. When you hear gunfire going off over your head, you're going to go back the other way. You're not going to worry about no wall. You're not going to worry about no hillside, no river or anything like that. You're not going to be worrying about cartel or anybody like that trying to ferry you across. You're going to try and go back home. And that's going to be the first wave. The second part of it was, and to the left and the establishment, this sounds so god awful, but you got to understand that the agenda was to siphon all our social benefits, our monies, and all that out of this country. How so? We just sent $10 billion to Iran. We had Israel, of all people that have a surplus, ask us for money for their defense. And then on top of that, we've had Ukraine asking for more money for their defense, which now that their military aged men are not 20 something anymore, now their average military age man is 43. So that tells you about what happened to their younger men. And what's not being said is the fact that we the people, as far as America in the last demic, we don't have it anymore. We can't afford not to take care of our home first. We cannot afford to have charity around the world when we have homeless vets. We've had the homeless problem for years. We've had all these problems. America's wealth isn't the way it should be at all for the last 8 to 10 to 20 years, 30 years at that.
Right.
But yet, and I'm not running for governor in California, but I want to say a strong FU to Gavin Newsom. You gave, and I've said this so many times, I've told people that China is our worst enemy that we have to worry about. And he rolled out the red carpet for him, took out all the homeless off the streets as for his as to make sure that the communist that the communist in charge didn't get to see our problem in San Francisco that is definitely blue state made. So I really, you know what? Fuck it. There's so many people right now that really, starting with Gavin Newsom, if he wants to be the diplomat, go ahead and run the embassy in China. But stay the hell out of our sovereign borders. If you want to be the embassy, you want to run the embassy in China, go over there and run it. Go ahead and do that by all means. But don't step foot back on U.S. soil whatsoever. The other part about it is, all you other communists, y'all can go with them. Anybody that thinks that our sovereignty as the United States of America and having non-communist parties owning our land is a bad thing, go ahead and just take yourself to any communist state, Cuba, China, anywhere that you want to go. We have vets, homeless, orphans. We have single parents, single mothers. We have everybody that we can ever think of that need the help more.
Right.
Than rolling out the carpet for people that do not have our interests at heart or have humanity's interests at heart, period. Dealing with illegals themselves that are trying to get here because they are fed a false hope. The establishment told them, come on, we got open borders, come on up, go ahead and flood it. We're not going to do nothing, but when you get here, we're going to take care of you. And they flooded all the red states, all the blue states that they could, all the border states. Then they go to Chicago. But guess what? When they hit Chicago, now the residents see, oh, Trump was right. And I ain't scared to fucking say it either. Trump was right. Wow, this is a problem. This really is a problem. We need to really think about our city. We need to think about our problems, our gang problems, our drive-by mass shooters that happen to be GD and whatever gang you want. We need to think about them terrorists. Free Palestine. We need to free Chirac. How about that? We need to free Watts. We need to free Compton. We need to free L.A. We need to free downtown New York. We need to free Atlanta and the SWATs. We need to free DeKalb in Florida. We need to free them before we think about freeing anybody. And if anybody does not want to use our aid to come here correctly through our ports of entry, then you should get what you get. You're not entitled to Trump Hotel, the Ritz-Carlton. You're not entitled to that. You're entitled to what you get as being lawbreakers. Nothing more, nothing less. The most humane treatment, you get 2 hots in a cot. That's what I would give you. And you're lucky that it's not on the southern border in a Texas in a Texas flamingo desert. Yeah, you're lucky. You're very lucky. To say that your treatment in the facility was ugly.
Undignified.
I have been homeless.
Jen.
And thank you, Jen, for doing that work with that, because I know what it's like actually passing through those with my family. And my mom and dad had to see us kids with them. So I know what that's like.
I loved the people. They were good people. These people they're taking advantage of us. They're illegal and they're milking the system. We pay for that. That's our tax dollars. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. I'm not talking about the homeless people at the churches. That's just our thing. But
no, I got that.
Yeah. This is just ridiculous. How can we? Or they say it doesn't rot from the head up. Well, it's doing a fine job right now. How do we tell this guy, stop it and arrest him And I would love, I don't, he could go to Gitmo. Anyhow, we have to arrest him. He needs to be indicted. What's it called again? For the president, he has to be, he's not the
Impeached.
Impeached.
Thank you. Yeah, I know
Impeached
this
is a good
better.
start.
That's a good start. But we can't. I'm like, where's the military? That's exactly what I'm thinking of. I am so frustrated with this. Those are our tax dollars. Bring them back. The money. Send the people away. They want to go
That's
home.
right.
Go back.
All right. We're going to have, Jonathan, I'm going to get to you because we're going to wrap this up. I got to get dinner prepared. It was a great one. Don't go
Food is
nowhere, guys,
important.
girls. So we're going to do the round table and we're going to wrap it up. We're going to start with Jen. Jen, do we, and you came up with this earlier, I appreciate it. Do we really have a fallback plan?
There is no fallback plan put in place unless you do it yourself for your family. We have a nice fallback dream for our country, but we have to pick apart at it in little hurdles on our own. That's the only way we can get any kind of soundness in our home, in our home. I can't go any farther. I'm trying to get our city. You can't. Do what you can. Bye. Thank you.
Jonathan Garcia.
I agree with her. And you don't have to worry. You should turn off that TV. That'd be good one. turn off the Kardashians and turn off all that stuff. You have to focus on your family, not the gossip tube, not the gossip forums or any of that stuff. We're not worried about the $1 million of influencers and how they made it or any of that stuff. The average person, just like myself, I work a 9 to 5, and it was really hard to bounce back after my campaign and everything. I was at a deficit, but the thing is that the plan is for you not to be the weakest link in your family, but also, which is a very important thing, if you do have family members that do show up on your doorstep because they lost a home or whatever, make sure that you're able to take them in. Don't keep them on the street. Also, make sure that everybody that's around you has something to share. That's a good part of it too. But also, let everybody know that you love them. If it wasn't for the people around me that really encouraged me, and to even after the whole campaign and everything, just letting somebody know that, hey, you care, and I hope to see you again. Whatever, if I could help you out in any way, I'm here for you to at least listen. That's sometimes all you need to know. It's just that somebody's there to listen to you. So do your utmost to be available, because it is coming. It definitely is coming, and we need everybody. So I'm done, y'all. I appreciate it.
You want to piggyback on that, Jen, or are you done?
No, that was beautiful. Not just taking care of your family, take care of all your loved ones. Tell everyone you're there for them. And the best part was that you love them. So many people are hanging on just by a thread right now, and you're probably that thread. So make sure you tell your loved ones you love them.
See, Jen, something inside me just told me Jen has something to add to it. She said she was finished, but she's really not finished. I appreciate both of you guys. It's been a pleasure. And remember, people, patrons, whoever you consider yourself to be, I'll see you tomorrow night or tomorrow. But you don't never know. That's why I tell you to subscribe. Make sure you ring the bell so you can get them instant notifications. It's difficult, especially when you shadow ban, because you know they don't like the truth to get out there, no matter how you slice it and dice it. So remember, in the meantime, in between time, from the lab, Jonathan Garcia, Jen, the homeschool mom. Deuces, we are out. Thanks, Patriots and Patriots.
Bye.